Hi guys, welcome to the Citizen channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. Please, if you are new to this channel, please push that subscribe button. We do everything city, past and present here on these little vlogs, so I do try and inform and entertain, and there's some links on screen as well for Facebook and Twitter where I do post loads of city stuff. So if you follow a friend me on there, I do check every few days and follow and friend everyone back. And if you do get a chance, please have a check out my film and TV channel as well, which I try and inform and entertain on there, and all the latest films and TV drama here in the UK and from around the world. So if you can check that out, that will be fantastic. Anyway, hope you enjoy today's feature. Welcome to the History Boys features. We look back to 1990. Yeah, interesting year for me, and a bit on that in a moment. Yeah, we're going to go back to Chelsea versus Manchester City on the 22nd of September 1990. Yeah, good year. A new car was being made in Sunderland that went on sale to replace the old Bluebird. Yeah, the Nissan Primera. Did you have one of those? Yeah, I certainly have over the years. Not when it first came out, but later on. And of course, Britain, well, as normal, was on the verge of a recession like the rest of the world at the time. But there you go. That was all the miserable bits out of the way. Yeah, in football, English clubs were back in Europe. Yeah, after a 5-year ban. I'm not sure how that happened, but City would have loved to have been back in Europe, but we weren't. But at least English clubs were at the time. I'd just started working in 1989 at J. Sykes and Sons on New Smithfield Market, one of the biggest fish firms, if you like, or the catering firms, if you like. Obviously, the owners and the brothers there who were involved, the sons and brothers, all had a box on the halfway line at Old Trafford. So the banter at New Smithfield Market was interesting in those times because United hadn't quite become the monster they were. So obviously, when we got a lot of stick, and we give a lot of stick back. But I do always remember we lost the derbies around that period, but. Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. As I say, they hadn't quite reached their ascendancy then by 1990, of course. I mean, personally, there's an image up on screen. You can just catch me in the back there. I'd just sort of dropped out of midfield now. I used to be a bit of a midfielder, but I was getting a bit of a belly on me, if you can see from the picture. But yeah, I was in goal then for a team called Union Celt. It would go on to be called the Reddish Union after the pub in Reddish in Stockport, obviously Reddish Stockport. So obviously I joined them. Sort of, I think were created, to be honest with you. I think it was there almost at the creation of the Union Celtic. Yeah, there was obviously a big Celtic fan playing for us who obviously had a lot of say in that. And in the 5th division, over the next few years, I'd help them get to the top division, but even win a cup as well. So I was quite pleased with my performances there, and we did sort of do a cup and league double on the season. I sort of ended it all. I ended on a high, so that was great. But there you go. And interestingly enough, a newspaper, yeah, there's a little article. I had little scrapbooks then in the 90s. There was a little newspaper article published. I don't know the newspaper, my apologies, but it's probably something like the Sunday People or Sunday Mirror. I think it was Sunday People, something like that anyway. And it was an article now where Division 1 grounds compared, and it marked the grounds based on stewards, refreshments, whether it was fare-free, whether you felt comfortable going there, toilets, the family, and the stadium itself. So, yeah, only Chelsea and Stamford Bridge, who we're going to talk about today, finished lower than City. So we were next to bottom of that table. With Main Road, of course. The stewards got a 6, so that was quite a high score. Refreshments a 0. Fare free, we got a 5. It was the only more scary place to go was Stamford Bridge again. So obviously City were sort of second scariest stadium to go to. There you go in 1990. Okay, toilets got a 4 out of 10. A family though got a 7, which seems a little bit odd. How can family get a 7 out of 10 when obviously it's such a scary place to go? But I don't know. I suppose there is reasons. Stadium got a 6 out of 10. All right, not too bad. So out of a possible 60 marks, of course, we got 28, less than half, and finished next to bottom. But, I mean, City were actually summed up a little paragraph on each club. And the paragraph said on City, don't bother with the main course at Main Road. The food is disgusting. There's a choice of an unappetising burger or partly defrosted bun that still gives indigestion 2 hours later. I used to love that feeling in my stomach after one of our one of our burgers outside the ground. I don't know what it was. I just liked it. Very weird. Amazingly, there are no waste bins anywhere. Just eat and dump. I think it was probably because of the bombs, mate. I'm not too sure. An absolute disgrace, he said. Toilets, just follow your nose for the gents. Though the ladies is fine. Well, I didn't ever try the ladies, but it was always quieter, wasn't it? Exit from the ground is quick and easy. You can understand why. So yeah, nice words on the. I mean, we love Main Road. We still look back on Main Road with obviously fondness, but yeah, that was interesting. Top of that league, if you look on the table there, of course, is Liverpool then Everton. I'm not sure which paper this is from. Perhaps it's from the Liverpool Echo after all. I'm not too sure. I don't think it was. I didn't buy the Liverpool Echo, but based on that table. Anyway, back to the game. Back to City, Chelsea and City. Early season 1991. After 5 games, City sat a place above our illustrious neighbours United across the road. So that was always good. That's how we measured ourselves in those days. I'm not doing it just for it. It's just how it was. We always compared ourselves. They were our big rivals, of course. So we were happy we were above them in the table. That's all we had to look forward to, sort of thing, in those days, wasn't it? We did have a game in hand as well over, and we still sat above them. So we visited Stamford Bridge. Chelsea, 2 home wins and 3 away defeats to their name, so not the greatest start. Sponsored by Commodore, of course. I always prefer Spectrum myself. I was a Spectrum 48K man, but rest in peace to Clive as well. He's sadly passed away recently. Bobby Campbell was their manager. I don't remember too much about him when I looked at their manager thing. Bobby Campbell, I was trying to think. He sort of does ring a bell, but I don't know too much about him. As for City, of course, Howard Kendall was starting his first full season, wasn't he? Well, it lasted till November anyway, until he sodded off back to his wife or whatever he called Everton. We were just obviously a bit on the side, weren't we? But Kendall had made City hard to beat, and the fans, me, you, everyone who was there at the time, we accepted all his ex-Evertonian players coming in as well. So because we believe things are on the up and up, we have confidence in City and Kendall himself. So the lineups for this game: 5th place City, we had Coton, Brightwell, Hendry, Redmond, Poynton, White, Reed, Harper, Ward, Quint and Heath as our starting 11. Allen came on after 77 minutes and Brennan came on after 61, I think, for Peter Reid, who I think we struggled a little bit. He had to go off, he was getting on a bit at the time, wasn't he? 13th place Chelsea, they lined up with Besant, Clark, Johnson, Moncau, Dorigo, McAllister, Nicholas, Townsend, Lasso, Dixon and Wilson. Yeah, and Lee came on as a substitute in the 59th minute. It was an okay game for City. Some of the headlines, it was a 1-1 draw in the end. Some of the headlines in the papers the following day: Redmond's boys ready to graduate with honours. That stems from Steve Redmond saying we were going to win a cup at some stage. Okay, Steve. Chelsea flutter only to deceive. Another thing. Terrific Tony, another one read. Confident Coton is hero in a show of defiance. Yeah, he had a good game that day. Spot look City. Ward's on the mark. Ward's spot on for City. Bridge of Sighs. Wasn't that a film? I don't know. A recent film, Bridge of Sighs. Anyway, we'll go over to Peter Gardner and Jemmy. I got a few match reports, but I always like to go Peter Gardner because obviously he'd do it from a City angle, didn't he? So just read out the match report for the game. His headline: Terrific Tony, confident Coton is hero in show of defiance. The reason for City's impressive start to the season is easy to fathom. They have finally become an extremely difficult side to beat, yet the shell-shocked Blues were incredibly lucky to survive a London blitz. Chelsea's aerial bombardment threatened to bury them under an avalanche of goals. Even Howard Kendall admitted, this time we were fortunate to get a point, especially when we have not played at our best. For that, City has to thank a superb Stamford Bridge performance from Tony Coton, his best since a £1 million summer transfer from Watford, and a defence that harnessed a touch of eccentricity to a positive, determined approach. Coton was almost unbeatable until Kevin Wilson steered in the 73rd minute equaliser, although in fairness it was no more than the pensioners deserved. They had swamped the Blues for 30 minutes at the outset, and only a needless push by Erland Johnson on Niall Quinn had provided the Blues with vital breathing space thanks to a penalty Mark Ward tucked wide of Dave Besant's left-hand post. Picking the ball out of the net proved the only serious action for the Chelsea keeper, who watched unconcerned as Colin Hendry and Alan Harper shot wide. Parker, I've got Parker on my mind, I wonder why. Shot wide in the second half. The only other City efforts of note. Coton apart, Hendrick and Redmond were outstanding in maintaining a grip on Kerry, Dixon and Wilson, a menacing twin threat whenever the ball was in the air, as it often was. City survived too because Chelsea added to their own frustrations with a string of careless misses, notably by Kevin McAllister after Wilson had levelled the scores and the home side was sent in victory. The Blues were not helped either by the recurring hip injury that forced Peter Reid out of the action in the second half. Intentions, David White was also substituted, although his problems was an inability to get the better of England left-back Tony Dorigo, whose pace almost matched that of the City flyer. Yeah, so not the greatest game for City. I mean, it looks as though we're quite lucky. Although, say, Chelsea were okay at Stamford Bridge, weren't they? But we're quite lucky to get away with a draw, a point that day at Stamford Bridge. Howard Kendall himself, well, he said for the Manchester Evening News, quote from the Manchester Evening News the following day, "We found it difficult coping with the aerial menace of Chelsea, although I'm delighted we were able to take a point from a game in which we were not at our best. It was our third away fixture, and while I have to say we were unfortunate at both Tottenham and Sheffield United, we were fortunate at Stamford Bridge. Tony Coton had his best game so far for us. He was tremendous, although unfortunately he had perhaps too much work to do. However, Chelsea did not create all that many chances, and on no occasion did they seriously open us up." Yeah, I mean, they were profligate. Is that the thing you say with the chances in front of goal? Just finally, before we leave the Manchester Evening News, the player ratings from them that day. Coton got an 8, Brightwell 6, Poynton 6, Redmond 7, Hendry 7, Reid 6, White 5, Harper 6, Quinn 6, Heath 6, and Ward 6. And the subs, Brennan and Allen, also got a 6. And the man of the match award or the City man of the match at least, went to Tony Coton. Finally saw serious action and lived up to his £1 million price tag with a superb performance. Referee Keith Cooper from Pontypridd. Hey, there you go. I do remember a bit of Keith Cooper, not too much. Attendance 20,926. Yeah, so there you go. So that was it. The draw dropped City a place, unfortunately, to 6. So we dropped from 5th to 6. But improved Chelsea. Yeah, they improved a place. So they went up to 12th position. They would have a bit of a middling season, Chelsea, staying with Chelsea. A bit like us, I suppose. We did a little bit better. But they had a bit of a middling season. Average crowd at the Bridge that season, 20,738. But I think we averaged about 27,000. We had the 5th highest that season in the league. 20's a little bit, 20 for Chelsea, a little bit lower than us, so a good 6,500 less than City managed. As far as City, of course, I don't need to say too much. Despite Kendall deserting us and going back to his wife, Peter Reid would, of course, sort of take over player manager duties, wouldn't he? And we would finish that season in the rare heights of 5th in the league. So that wasn't too bad at all, was it? But not the greatest game at the Bridge. I think most City fans would be happy with a 1-1 at the moment. Chelsea are a very, very good team, as our City, of course. But an interesting look back at this one, and thanks for joining me for this History Boys features. We look back at 1990 in general for me, and as City and football in the UK. Thanks for joining me for this, and specifically this look at Chelsea 1, Manchester City 1 on the 22nd of September 1990. Thanks for watching. Hope you're going to do the rest of the day. Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More importantly, let's all look after each other. To meet here again on the Citizen channel, or perhaps have a flit across, please have a look at my film and TV channel if you ever get a chance to try and inform and entertain on there as well. Whatever it is, whatever you do, I only ask one little thing of you. Please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.